नरेंद्र मोदी उनसे बात करते हुए हैदराबाद हाउस के कॉरिडोर में। अब दोनों नेता इस कॉरिडोर में एक जनरली क्या होता है कि हमने अक्सर देखा है कि नेता अराइव करते हैं, उसके बाद एक हैंडशेक होता है और तुरंत डेलीगेशन लेवल टॉक्स के लिए चले जाते हैं। पर यहाँ हम देख रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री फूमियो किशिदा और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी कॉरिडोर में टहलते हुए और बात करते हुए, ये एक इनफॉर्मल सेटिंग में दोनों प्रधानमंत्री आपस में बात कर रहे हैं। ऑफ कोर्स जब बंद कमरे में बात होगी, डेलीगेशन लेवल फॉर्मल टॉक्स होंगी, तो उसका फॉर्मेट एक फॉर्मल फॉर्मेट रहता है जिसमें इंटायर पूरा जो गैमेट है बायलैटरल रिलेशनशिप का वो डिस्कस किया जाता है, जिसमें डिफेंस एंड सिक्योरिटी, ट्रेड टाइज, इन्वेस्टमेंट, क्लीन एनर्जीज, डेवलपमेंटल पार्टनरशिप के तमाम पहलू, ये सब डिस्कस किया जाता है। ऑफ कोर्स रीजनल और वैश्विक जो मुद्दे हैं वो भी आज दोनों की बातचीत में।
Okay. My colleague Abhishek Jha is with us this morning to bring us more context on this visit. On your screens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi accompanied by Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Let's go over to Abhishek for more context on this visit and the significance. Abhishek, the Japanese Prime Minister here for less than 24 hours, but at the same time, many experts are saying that this short visit could turn out to be an inflection point in the two countries' bilateral relations. Why is that? Tell us more.
So clearly, India and Japan have shared a strong tie where the last few years at least, there have been much of focus on engaging people of the two countries, people-to-people engagement. And Japan is also looking forward to India in having more cooperation in terms of human resource and capacity building. We know that there are many major aspects of the bilateral tie in terms of trade, commerce, and then the security ties, Quad, and defense partnership. But people-to-people engagement is also one of the areas where two prime ministers are focusing, where they are actually seeking more trained professionals from India who can go and be employed in Japanese companies. We have seen number of Japanese companies coming to India and investing in major infrastructure projects from metro to bullet train. There has been in between several other major infrastructure projects that has also helped India's growth momentum. There are last Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Kishida had met 3 times when Prime Minister Kishida had visited India for the 14th annual summit in March, and Prime Minister Modi had visited Tokyo in May for the Quad summit. And during the September, also Prime Minister Modi had visited on the funeral of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. So clearly, the engagement of the two sides that we can witness in the last 1 year at least tells that a very strong bilateral cooperation is on the card. This time also, where the Prime Ministers will be talking, and we are expecting that Prime Minister Kishida will be extending a formal invite of upcoming G7 summit that is going to be held in Hiroshima in Japan in the month of May. And we know that Prime Minister Modi has been a regular visitor of this major, economic group for the last several years. And this will be one of the agenda that will be on the cards of Prime Minister Kishida when he'll be having bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Modi.
Tell us, Abhishek, one of the things that's being looked at very closely is the fact that it was 15 years ago, in August 2007, that you first saw Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan at the time address the Indian Parliament, where he'd outlined 2 big new ideas about Asia and for the first time articulated Japan's Indo-Pacific vision. Today is very much being looked at as a continuation of that. The fact that Delhi was chosen as the location for Kishida to articulate his Indo-Pacific strategy. Can you tell us more?
So clearly, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, if you can say, he was kind of visionary, very not only understood the fact that Indo-Pacific region is going to be very competitive in the days to come, but he also understood the challenge that will be coming from China, and for that, only Japan or India, the countries who are basically present in this area, will not be enough to protect their interests. And this is why his concept of Quad, took birth, and he started this whole Quad started with the foreign ministers meeting of these 4 nations: India, Australia, Japan, and USA. And that has graduated to formal summit-level talks where we regularly see prime ministers and the leaders from these four countries meeting and discussing the aspect of Indo-Pacific security, trade, commerce, and how to keep that area free and under the rules-based order. In fact, a few weeks from now, Prime Minister will be traveling to Australia, where Japanese Prime Minister will also be present. The USA's President Joe Biden will also be present, and they will be having another Quad summit level talk. So this whole Indo-Pacific region has been very, very potential. It has a lot of potential for growth, a lot of international trade goes through it, and this is why to keep this area free and open for all is the basic purpose of this Quad grouping, where Japan's front Prime Minister was a very visionary, and he gave that idea, which was then. Now it has graduated to a level when India and Japan, they have not only increased their bilateral engagement and cooperation, but the formal setting of Quad is also one of the areas of strength in the bilateral ties.
Abhishek, I wish we hadn't run out of time. I do want to also discuss with you the two countries' differences in dealing with the Ukraine-Russia aggression, and we'll touch on that in a few minutes.